Destiny class. How are you doing today? Destiny is back. And yesterday, Destiny was talking to the class about a lecture. If it's not broke, then don't fix it. And in that lecture yesterday, I talked to you just briefly about the old childhood story called The Tortoise and the Hare. And I told you guys I would do that another time and explain that to you guys. So listen, students, let me tell you this. That's a very good story. And what I'm going to do today, I don't have the book, so I'm just going to give you some scenarios from the story. And I'm going to run this story down and we'll show you the morals of this story, which can be a very life-changing situation. That it can give you guidelines, it can provide opportunities, it can open up pathways, it can cause you to see exactly where you are and while you are continue to stumble and stay in that place where you are not succeeding to your greater and higher good. And these are morals. These are morals will help you to get to a greater and a better place. So let's talk today on this lecture class. Like I said, teachers in the classroom, I always like for my participation. You can raise hands, you can get involved, you can share whatever that you want to share about the story that I'm going to read. But mostly, guys, I want you to listen because this is a life-changing story. So today we're going to talk about the tortoise and a hare. Let me tell you a little bit about the tortoise. Like I was telling you yesterday, the tortoise is like a turtle. You know how the turtle is a very slow creature, right? Then we had the hare. And we don't call them a hare or a tortoise in these days of time. But the hare is a rabbit, and that rabbit, is constantly moving, busy, and it's very quick. So I'm going to have a question. Are you a tortoise or a hare? Think about that. That's the question. And at the end of this lecture, then you guys you can have all participation to be able to expound upon that, what you think that means, and how you see yourself as either a tortoise or a hare. Let's get into a class. And like I said, I am here, and this is the teacher, and I want you guys to listen with your ears. And you're going to learn a very valuable lesson from here. Now, have you ever heard this story called The Tortoise and the Hare? I know it's a very old story. I don't have the book. I'm not going to read the whole story. I'm just going to give you some morals that you can apply to your life. So this story is about a race. And you heard the cheering in the beginning of the video playing. And they was clapping and rooting. So who's going to be the winner? The tortoise or the hare? Or you? Or your competitor. So this is a race. Life is nothing but a race. We are constantly in a race. We're always racing against something, someone, somebody, or we're even racing against time. But you got to make sure your mindset is out there, geared to be the winner. So that question I asked, have you ever heard of this story? And how can you apply this story to your life? And the question was, are you a tortoise or a hare? This story talks about the tortoise, and I told you that was like a turtle. He was a very little creature that moves around about very slowly. And the hare, which is the rabbit, he's a creature that can run very rapidly and fast, and he's quick. But listen at this. The hare is very confident of winning because he's so quick about moving and getting around. So being so confident, he decided while he's in this race with the tortoise that, okay, I'm going to stop while the race is going on, and I'm going to take me a quick nap. So he stopped and decided to take a nap, and the tortoise was still out there in his slow pace moving about. But the rabbit got so good in his sleep that he fell deep into a very long sleep as the tortoise was still in the race. And he was continuing to move, even at that very slow pace, but he moved without stopping. And finally, the tortoise, he won that race. So, the tortoise came back at another time, and he challenged the hare to another race. And the hare being quicker. He was so overconfident. Oh, I got this one too. I got this. So he stopped for another quick sleep. And apparently, unfortunately for the hare, he overslept again. As the tortoise, he kept plowing along at his slow pace. He won the victory again. So the moral to this story here is slow and steady, it wins the day. No matter if you're slow, but as long as you keep consistent, as long as you're being steady, and you got your focus, you keep moving in that direction toward that goal line, you'll win. You'll win in your day. But here's the sequence here, okay? Listen. The hare, he realized his error. So he challenged the tortoise to another race. And this time, he didn't go to sleep because he learned from the first two lessons. He learned, I'm not going to sleep. And he sped along quickly and rapidly and fast as he is, winning very easily. Now, the moral to that side of the story is fast and consistent. It's better than slow and steady. So as long as we keep moving at a really rapid pace and we're not even giving in or laying back, we just give it our all and we flying to the finishing line with everything within us, then we're going to be a winner. Fast and consistent is better than slow and steady. And so the tortoise, he decided, okay, I'm going to re-challenge this hare again. But this time the tortoise, he chose another route to the race alone. So what he did was one with a stream. That's the route that he said, I'm going to choose. A stream of water in the very middle. So the hare reached the stream first. But guess what? He was unable to cross it. So the hare had to stop right there. He could not go any further. But here comes the tortoise. So the tortoise is like, okay, water, they like water. They can swim in water. So the tortoise, he plowed across the stream of water. And guess what? He won. He won. And now listen to the moral of this side of the story. It is to play your own strengths. And you play to your competition, your competitor, you play against their weaknesses. And as long as you are doing that, you're going to be very successful. Very successful. But by now, the hare and the tortoise had become friends. All of a sudden, all this competition and all of this tugging and warring and pulling against each other, it finally brought them together as good friends. So what happened now? They decided to run the race together. And this time the tortoise, he rode on the hare's back, who sprinted to the stream of water. And then what happened? Now they are a team. They're working together. So they decided they'll swap. They swapped places. And now the hare, he's going to take the tortoise across the water. And so the tortoise, he carried the hare. And he carried him across the water because, the rabbit, the hare, he can't swim. So he swapped places. And so the tortoise said, okay, get on my back. I will take you across the water. Once they were safely across, they swapped back again because they were teaming up, was working as a team. So now the hare is back on land. He can move on land. So they swapped again. So the rabbit allowed the hare allowed the tortoise to get on my back. And they did. And they speed together to the finishing line, achieving a record time. Because that was the moral of the story. Listen, when working in a team, you got to use each other's strength to win well. And you got to use each other's strength to win quickly. And it's often the one and the only way to do so is teaming up, buddying up, partnering up, Whatever you gotta do, you gotta have the same focus. We all going in the same direction. We in tune with one another, and you just move together. That's called teamwork. Teamwork, guys, is dream work. So, let me give you some tips on how to win and how to achieve your success by following these morals that I have given you examples in the story. You can take these morals, each one of them, and can apply it to your life on how you to reach your greater and most successful self, and how to achieve a great business or whatever that you're trying to do. You got to apply these morals within the story. So here's a few tips on how to win and achieve your success. Well, it all gonna depend on your situation, okay? And it will depend on what you apply it to. Whatever circumstances or situations that you are in at that time, you make sure you apply it to your situation. But in my experience, pretty much everybody can learn pretty much something from one of these stories that I'm about to tell, these tips. You ought to learn something. So listen very carefully, students. Number one, not left enough time to prepare a communication, such that you have to wing it on the day of the test or the day that you gotta present your presentation. Slow and steady prep is better than none at all, guys. Remember that. And number two, you gotta have some days when you sometimes communicate well, and others which aren't so good, but you have to be more consistent. Without simple communication techniques, you can't be enabled. You will not be in bed. You can't do it. So you always do them. You always do these things. You set out preparations and plans. You prep. You prepare in advance. So whatever the day turns out, or whatever the mood may turns out, you'll win. You'll win because you have prepared yourself. Number three, you're going to want to make the most of any opportunity that is presented to you. But you have to beat the competition. You're going to have to beat that competitor you've always got your eyes on. So you have to play to your strengths and not to your competitor's strength. Smaller than them, you have to size them up and say, okay, if they are larger than you or bigger than you, I got to size them up. See how you're going to take them down to a place where you can be able to manage that, to come out on the top. So you talk about your number. Talk about how your strengths are. Talk about how powerful you are. Talk about those things. How lumber you are. And you find out if they are new to the industry. And you talk about how you can bring best practice from the outside. You got to find things that you can do that you're allowing yourself to be usher up with a greater strength and power within you than you really can see at the time. So listen to this here. You know the story in the Bible about Goliath and David. Well, listen, tell you something about that, those story, because they say, remember, they took those stones and he slung his slingshot and he shot the giant down and he just went down and killed him. So let's just say how we can apply this. Now, when David fought Goliath, he didn't go hand in hand, guys. That would have been stupid. Instead, he stood from a distance where Goliath couldn't reach him, and then he hurled that stone at him, that one particular stone. He had 5 smooth stones, but he hurled that last smooth stone at him. That was the one that took him out. That way, Goliath was bound to lose because he had to step back and he had to take his best shot. And Goliath was there just like a sitting duck. And sometimes, guys, listen, we got to take a step backwards in order to move forward. Why are we taking a step backwards? Because sometimes we got to pull back to get away from being so close up so it won't hinder our view, so we can see everything in excess, every possibility it is that we see all the obstacles. We see a giant standing in front of us. Now you got that good shot. You let it go. And that's what David did to Goliath. He made his best shot. So guys, in the last one, working in a team, you found what everyone's individual strengths are. And you allocate jobs based on those people different strengths, okay? And if there is a strength gap, then you got to find someone new who has those strengths to fulfill that position or job that you want, rather than advocating the job to someone who isn't good for that position only because they just happen to be available. No, you gotta be smart and think with a wise mind. The best person for the best job, if they are not here, if they're not on my group, then I need to hire that person, bring them in on the team. And remember, availability is not a skill. Availability is not a skill. So what you trying to say, teacher? To round this all up, put it all in a little nutshell. It's very simple and very easy. I want you to understand. This is the whole story in a nutshell. If you can be more successful by doing things slowly and steadily than by acting out in a haste, in a quick manner, then you go at the pace that you can, but always remain consistent. Doing things slowly and steadily, then acting them out quickly and carelessly, sometimes that may be your best way of achieving your success. And so that is it. If you have questions, you're always welcome. This is the time to ask your questions. And I'll say thank you guys. Destiny will see you tomorrow, class. Don't forget your homework for tomorrow.